now. Best out of 1, that means. Hello and welcome to the third game of today. We are here with IG and Orange, two of the favorites in the Group A of the RedBull Esports Champions League, and we will see if they can, or which team will get themselves a game. It's only a best of 1, everybody faced each other once in the group stage, and I believe the top 4 will make it off to the playoffs and the bottom 2 get dropped out. With me today is Vikrant, who will be my co-caster. Is it good evening or good night for you right now?
Well, it's 1 a.m. But I guess it's morning in some sense, since I just woke up about an hour ago.
You did sleep. Okay, good for you.
I did sleep. I slept for about 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's the same amount as I did. Awesome.
Good times.
I know.
Good times.
It's like just enough to get yourself in that, deep sleep, and then you have to wake up.
Exactly. But no, honestly, I'm very happy to wake up and get a chance to cast some of this, because of course it's not just a LAN event. It is, I guess, the last big Chinese LAN before TI3. After this, it's all boot camping and scrimmages straight through to the TI3 group stages. So honestly, the stakes are pretty high. We've got a lot of great teams, and 2 of the best ones are going to face each other right now.
Yeah, IG, I think, well, they used to be the favorite. If you would see IG and Orange, you'd think, IG will take this, but they haven't been performing as well lately. Of course, they still got 3rd in the Alienware Cup. Definitely not something to be ashamed about.
Yep.
But Orange, I think, definitely having a chance here to take the game as well. So this will be a very interesting match. And on top of that, best of 1, so everything is possible.
Absolutely. In a best-of-1 situation, it's very hard to predict who would win a game like this. Orange, I think, very capable of taking a game off IG. 2 things we need to look for here, at least looking towards both their performance at this event and TI3, or 2 things I'm going to be looking at. Orange historically underperforms on LAN. They do very, very well online, but I just feel at LAN competitions they come up short relative to how strong of a team they are. So I'm going to see if they can pull it together as far as both, in-game strategic decisions and just overall performance. For IG, I'm going to be looking at YYF this game, because YYF spent a very long time being regarded as the best player in the world. I think entirely fairly. There was a period of months in which he was just absolutely dominating every game, but lately, and especially in their Losers Bracket Final Series in Alienware Cup against Navi, I just have felt that YYF has been struggling a little bit. I think his place within the current way that the team plays, I think he's struggling to find the laning dominance he was able to usually exert. So for IG to win ECL, they're going to have to figure that out at the very least.
Yeah, and in the meantime, IG, they took a lot of time of their bonus time to think about their last ban, leaving the Bedrider in the pool, so that will be the pickup for Orange. No really any discussion about that. I mean, that's just a very strong hero to have. You don't want to give it away. IG, Wisp is still in the pool. I'm not quite sure if they really want to have that though. They banned out the Visage as well as the Alchemist, Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin banned out by Orange. Leaving the Darkseer in the pool as well, and we know that YYF has got a very strong Darkseer, so we might see him play that one. As you said, he's going to be playing an important role, and he is the one to show for the practice. But oh my god, they take a book page out of Quantic's book. OD Treant Protector in the house for IG.
Yeah, IG's been doing this lately. It's a very strong combo in general. I think it's quite strong for them as well. OD Treant gives you the very good odds that you win whichever lane the OD is in, decent odds that you win the lane that the Treant is in, and sort of the implication that you'll win whatever the other solo lane is, because the Treant can bolster that as well. So I really like this. I think it'll give them a lot of laning presence. The other nice thing about picking up OD against Orange is Orange likes to play OD as well. Mushi has played it quite a bit. So you're taking away a hero that Mushi is pretty good at, that he likes to play, as well as a strategy that IG has been developing. So yeah, I absolutely agree. To some extent, it's Quantic that sort of led the field here. Yeah. But at this point, IG has adopted this for their own as well.
Yeah, it's really nice. I would like to see them. Don't think I've seen them play this lineup before, at least not myself. I haven't been able to catch all the games, unfortunately, but Yeah, I mean, it always makes for an interesting lane, although I have to say, IG playing it kind of makes me think they're going to use Treant very defensive. Even though you can get more dives with him, if you have, or get more dives on other heroes if you've got the tree backing him up. I don't think that IG is really the team to use it that way. But we'll see. Maybe they're getting forced to, depending on how Orange is going to play this. Orange, normally known for a bit more aggression compared to IG at least. We've got the gyrocopter picked up by them. Sand King is going to be the ban out for IG. I want to see that on Orange. And a Lifestealer banned out by Orange. And the team's all of a sudden having a bit more pace than they had before.
Yep. I like IG's bans. I like Orange's bans fine. I do like the two supports to sort of try to pick apart Faith and Chuan early, especially that SD that Faith is very good on. But overall, IG's bans, I really like them. I think Alchemist is, even after the nerf, borderline, or just very close to over the line. And Mushi is, since Mushi is such a good farmer in the first place, putting Mushi on Alchemist sort of ramps that farm to the point where it's just kind of disgusting. Visage is a hero that we're going to see first banned a lot when two Eastern teams are playing, and then Sand King is an amazing ban against Orange, who can turn around an absolutely lost game with Net Sand King. It's probably the world's best Sand King.
Oh, shame we're not going to see that one then. And Darkseer, of course, he made it through the first picking phase without getting touched, but he does get banned up by Orange. No surprise there. And IG has got the first chance to pick someone up on, well, after getting the Windrunner banned out. Of course, that's going to be a bit of an advantage that you have now. Banning one out and instantly getting a pick. Doesn't look like they're making specific use of it, like not banning out a counter towards what they are going to pick up, but they pick up a Bounty Hunter. And this is kind of saying for IG, aggression, mid-game kills. They need that now with the track there.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter is an interesting choice. You can, at 6, for instance, you can sort of dive under a tower with the living armor and hope that you can sort of get a kill against whoever you're trying to fight. The question for the Bounty Hunter, I guess, is just going to be, will they be able to generate enough mid-game opportunities to help that ramp their gold up? And if they go Bounty Hunter, and they still give Joe another carry hero, you end up with an OD who's fairly farm dependent, and a carry hero who's farm dependent, and I wouldn't necessarily call Bounty Hunter farm dependent on his own. He usually just goes Vlad's BKB or something. But the Bounty Hunter will be under the gun to sort of generate the opportunities for the kills, rather than just track. Because there won't be that much damage coming out from whatever Joe's hero is, whether that be Anti-Mage or another option.
Yeah, and the other option, let's see if he's going to pick it up now, because reaching that point where Orange can start banning out the heroes that they don't want to face anymore, at least the carries that they don't want to see on Zhao anymore, at least. They secured themselves a Rubik, so having a nice setup hero there for them. I mean, they already have got 2 lanes complete. They've got the Bat Rider, they've got the Gyrocopter. Still missing either an off lane, depending on what Bat Rider is going to do, obviously, or a solo mid. I mean, Bat Rider up against OD should be a fairly okay lane. For both, actually. I don't think anybody is going to really lose the lane. Unless, of course, well, Bat Rider is going to get a little bit less experience because of Astral Imprisonment, but I don't think he'll die. And yeah, but what kind of carry are you expecting to see here for Zhao? Because, of course, no Alchemist, no Gyrocopter in the pool anymore.
Joe, there's still some options. I think the Anti-Mage is what he's been having the best success with lately. It's not tremendously good or bad relative to what Orange are putting out, but I think it's good. IG also play a lot of Morphling relative to most teams, and we've been seeing Morphling as a okay. So they take IO. So there's no Gyrocopter available, obviously. This is something Navi will do, is take the IO and Gyro and not really bother getting a specific IO pairing and just do it with the Gyrocopter. So I don't know if that's something IG are looking for, because of course they don't have access to Gyro. They don't have... At this point, I don't really trust a pick of Anti-Mage or Morphling or something. I think that would somewhat be a mistake. They would have to go with something more like the Chaos Knight or even Tiny, who we've completely lost sight of in the current metagame, but used to be a pretty strong combination with IO. I don't think that absent a hero who's going to pair well with IO, the IO is really going to be very good. There's a concern from my perspective that if they run Treant IO plus, you know, something like Anti-Mage, if they do run that, it'll just be way too weak to stand up to an aggressive try of Gyro, Rubik, and Lesher Lina or something.
Yeah.
So I really think that it's going to just be something like the CK to shore up both the lane and sort of have something to do once your IO is 6.
Yeah, but thinking about that, I mean, we still have a ban out from Orange, and I think they are probably thinking along the same lines as you are, and therefore going to be banning out that CK if they have the chance. We did see in the Western scene, I think only though, Bounty Hunter IO going for a lot of ganks. And if Bounty Hunter can secure himself a bit of farm, he does need to have an okay lane. But if you're saying aggressive tri lane now with the Undying, Rubik and Gyro, Bounty Hunter will get farm on that safe lane. At least safe lane, solo lane up against the safe lane for Orange at least. Yeah. So that will help him be a bit more of a viable option for IO to relocate around. But we'll see what Orange ends up banning out, because, I mean, the obvious thing would be banning out the CK, but maybe Orange wants to therefore ban out something different. Although they could be giving away the CK as a result. I mean, yeah.
Well, the thing is that IG don't really play that much Chaos Knight. I don't actually... The reason I'm confused about IG's draft, most of the time when you see an IO in like a second phase, you see the CK immediately after. So the main thing that's sort of throwing me for a loop here, Shiver, is the choice of the Bounty Hunter so early. When Bounty Hunter, even though we've been seeing him making a re-entry into the metagame, he hasn't really risen to the level of a ban yet. So what you could do would be to take IO 3rd, the IO pair 4th, and Bounty Hunter 5th. So the fact that I took the IO 4th, leaving this additional room, I'm just not sure. And Orange, I do really like the Undying pick. Even though it completely telegraphs their intent, I think it's really good, because the Undying says, yes, we'll get up into your face, we'll do it extremely early, and how are you going to stand up against it? It's a dare. And they go with the PA.
Look at this! Okay. It is Western Dota all over! Like, if I was casting Alliance, I would know that they would think about a PA, but I was not expecting this from IG. I like this a lot, though. I like them trying to switch it up, spice it up a little bit, and I hope that's going to be showing in their playstyle as well. We already saw a game of them earlier today, where they weren't really that active, to say the least. If you were here to watch it for people on the stream, then you know what I'm talking about. But hopefully in this game with a PA, of course, also one of those heroes that can, you know, get that tether stun on with just blinking around with that blink strike. So that's good.
Keep in mind her blink strike does not actually auto proc
you have
the tether. You have to walk around.
Walk around at least. Unlike the CK, of course, who has it straight away because you're just gonna,
or even Ricky,
because you get turned around. Basically, you jump to the back of the player. Orange though, last pickup. I do like that both teams use their bonus time, not all at once, but, you know, little bits everywhere, here and there. 5 seconds left for Orange. They need themselves another solo lane, be that a solo lane mid, be that a... Actually. Wow.
Okay. That's fun.
I was not expecting that. I think this is the first time that I see Slardar in ages.
This is the first time I've seen Slardar since Burning used Slardar at G1 group stages, and it was terrible. Slardar is an interesting hero. So he's interesting especially on Radiant, because you can leverage his ability to Rosh extremely well, less so than you can on Dire. What this does give them is a person who can dual PA effectively early, and a very good AoE stun. So it's definitely in some respects a speculative choice. The thing is that IG's lineup is still relatively weak to some sort of early to mid game heavy pressure, and that's when Slardar's ultimate is extremely good, when the opponent's armor is still fairly low. You know, before you add that Vlad's on, before you add the possible Assault Cuirass, if the Bounty Hunter gets a lot of gold, IG could potentially be extremely vulnerable to just amp damage and hit them. It's cool that Living Armor blocks, you know, 70 damage or 80 damage at max rank, but if you're getting hit for several hundred on each auto attack, that hardly matters.
Yeah, and on top of that, you have, of course, got that amplified damage to also scout out the Bounty Hunter, so his ganking is going to be a little bit less effective. I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to lane this, though. Of course, Slardar is a kind of a hero that does need a bit of support to be able to get some extra levels, to get some solid farm up. Gyrocopter maybe not as much, so we might see him going on a solo lane. We do have everybody of Orange moving towards the top lane to start things off, though. Seeing if they can get something happening there. IG not really as aggressive this early in the game. We've got So playing the Phantom Assassin. I do like his skin, by the way. That looks really cool. But he'll be playing the Phantom Assassin. No surprise there. Chuan, no surprise. He will be playing the IO or the Wisp. It will be YYF on the Bounty Hunter this game. And like Vikram already said, he's got quite a task to just show the world that he is still the YYF that we know. It's Faith on the Train Protector, and the OD, of course, will be played by Ferrari 430, sitting in the mid lane and preparing to block some creeps.
Yep. Looking towards, I guess, Orange on the Radiant. Gonna look to take out IG here. We've got Ohio on the Batrider. Mushi will be on the Slardar, so this is obviously something we're going to watch with great intent to see whether Slardar is for real now or not. I mean, we'll see. There's definitely aspects that could go very well. He could also end up having the Slardar problem where sometimes you just pick him and he does nothing. Extinct will be piloting up the Rubik, KYXY on the Gyrocopter, and Net on the Undying. And this is the other thing to watch. How many opportunities will they be able to generate in the laning phase? Will they be able to pressure the IG tri-lane? Because that's where I think you have to put the pressure. It's in the tri-lane. Make Joe have to try to last hit with Stifling Dagger and just not be able to get close to the lane. If you do that, then he's going to be very behind early. He's not going to be able to become relevant. Keep in mind, PA first exploded as a pick as in concert with Magnus in 6.77. Because you sort of automatically give her crit and a big damage ramp, and she can then work with that. She's still good without the Magnus, but it makes her more farm dependent.
Yeah, and with that also, of course, trying to apply pressure to make sure that Faith constantly has to living armor the tri-lane rather than helping out the solo lanes is going to be helping out. But look at that, IG rotating to have 2 dual lanes. Chuan and Zhao will actually be farming on the bottom lane up against the Slardar, who is by himself, so that will not be an easy lane for Slardar anymore. Gonna get harassed away a little bit, I would expect. We do have instantly a rotation from Exto, probably gonna go bottom, helping out. They have got a ward behind the tower, so they did see that it's only Faith and YYF sitting on the top lane. And they'll be up against the Gyro and an Undying. So mid lane as expected. I like IG switching up the lanes, forcing out some rotations, but Orange already on the ball, trying to make it still work for them.
Wow, 2007 era Dota 2-1-2 for both teams right now. It's the Undying and the Gyrocopter, and then in the bottom it'll be the Slardar and the Rubik for Orange. This is very interesting. Now Slardar, I feel like this lane mildly favors Slardar Rubik simply because they can chain quite a few stuns together. It's going to be up to IG to try to keep the lane as far back as they can to avoid pressure. Keep in mind, IG have a lineup that doesn't have that much in the way of disable. So they have, obviously, Astral Imprisonment takes somebody out of the fight for a long time, but it's a pseudo disable. You can't actually kill them while they're in the prison. And then you have the Tether stun, and that's it, really. Whereas Orange have actually, in the form of the Slardar stun, they have one of the cheapest, best AoE stuns in the game. That's one of the main aspects of this hero. But he's taking a little bit of harassment early, so as long as Joe and Chuan can play keep away, and unless Orange decides to bring another person down here, they're gonna run into some issues actually pressuring this PA too hard.
Yeah, on the bright side for Orange, they can stack and pull very effectively here with that Rubik. No wards in the jungle for IG. These are not in a Radiant jungle. They've got some wards in their own jungle to counter ward the ward that was not there for Orange. I think Net has just been constantly blocking the spawn with his body, so that's a sentry ward wasted by Faith. Nicely done by Nets Undying. He's not really needed on the lane anyway. KYXY is going to be safe, and there's not really going to be any real hard carry or killing potential coming off from IG here.
Right. That's the thing, is that Trian is simply not going to be able to exert that much pressure. And Batrider, he's not going to have the easiest time in the world. It's a very difficult lane against the OD for any hero. But if you'd like to have any hero go up against OD, Batrider's great. I mean, he's one of the... He is dependent on damage for int, but Napalm is so cheap that you can do it even if you have a very low amount of intellect, and the ramping damage effect means you can still get your last hits. So you can see Ohio's not actually behind on last hits because he's using that Napalm to give him the damage that he's lacking on his basic auto attacks.
Yeah, the only thing that he has to worry about is getting Estro imprisoned. I really like what Net's doing here, but it's getting Estro imprisoned and that way getting denied farm. That way getting denied experience more than farm, actually. As we already see that Ferrari is getting quite a bit ahead there on the levels. 5 denies for him, only 2 denies for the Batrider, and of course last hits there when indeed Ohio is under the Astral Imprisonment. It's going to mean that Ferrari is going to be getting ahead there. But again, not really a hero that when level 6 is going to roam around trying to go for kills. No, he'll just sit in the lane. And it's going to be Ohio that we're expecting the first rotation from here on the middle lane. I would expect, as YYF gets himself a couple of new items. There is no sentry left anymore on the side of Orange here on the top lane, so killing potential for Orange also kind of dropping away. Last sentry is about to vanish. And,
Right.
I mean, it's gonna be a bit of a stalemate. Where are you expecting the first blood to happen? Oh, maybe on the bottom lane. Zao.
Bottom.
Splitter or
Unquestionably.
Telekinesis there. The Crush was already there as well, but yeah, he's out. He's fine. Pops a salve.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Hasn't happened yet, but if they feel like committing to a kill, bottom is the place to do it. If Batrider rotates, for instance, all he has to do is sort of go home for a bit, TP in, jump over, and try to get Joe. That actually Extinct in trouble here.
Boom. That's gonna be one kill on the board. YYF rotating for that one. Might not be level 6. Does get himself a
though.
kill. And that indeed
Faith
will leave
stays
Faith
alive.
by himself. Orange knows that, but they don't want to really dive the tower, especially not knowing that living armor is still there. So the first kill goes to IG, goes to a support, on a support Rubik rather. And goes to YYF. YYF, by the way, I mean, we talked about it during the draft, like how much he might be able to do when he would get farm. And he is not really getting that much farm, considering he was trying to farm a bit on top. But with that first blood money, he is definitely a hero that we should be watching out for in terms of how much he'll mean in the game, rather than just being there to track up kills, but actually also being transitioning maybe into a bit of a semi-carry role there.
Yeah, we could quite possibly see that, especially given the lane early, but he didn't actually get that many last hits in it. It is a fairly difficult lane for Bounty Hunter to try to overcommit to, simply because if Gyrocopter runs you down, you can see that KYXY got a pretty early tier 1 boot. If he runs you down and there's a sentry ward, you'll easily die to that dual lane. Treant will not save you. The Rocket Barrage will chew through the charges, and they'll just kill you between the Undying and the Gyro. So YYF, he didn't find that much early farm. That's why we sort of saw him taking a little bit of an earlier roaming role than you might expect. But that's okay, because he got the first blood bottom, he helped Joe sort of retain some presence in this lane, and the PA's farming just fine, I would say. Not great. 19 last hits is less than you want on such a hard carry this early. It's not awful either.
No, and in terms of last hits, that Gyrocopter is farming away happily here on the top lane. He is top of the last hits charts, even above the OD, who's doing really well as well. The top 4 of last hitters has got 3 of Orange in them, with also Mushi being able to still farm here, of course, on the bottom lane. So all in all, Orange getting a little bit ahead here, though the Batrider has kind of taken refuge a little bit into the jungle, actually placing his own wards. He's walking back and forth and is missing quite a bit of last hits now compared to Ferrari. And of course, more than last hits, it is experience right here that counts. With only just level 6 on the bat and almost level 7 on Ferrari.
Yeah, I think Ferrari is ahead, but if you're Orange, I think you factor that in. Keep in mind, IG used their first 2 picks to secure Outworld Devour Tree, and Joe in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, in comes the Tether, the Crush is there though, and they want to go on X, maybe. Zao goes indeed up on Extinct, should be able to get the kill as well. Living Arbor's there, preventing Zoe from going down himself, and it is another pick-off for IG. This time the kill goes to the Rubik. Nice Crush, hits up on 2, pops a haste, will be able to run himself into safety. Second kill here on this bottom lane.
I actually think this 2-on-2 was quite clever from IG. It's not horrible for Orange, but the situation here is that IG sort of it was IG that forced out the 2-1-2 from Orange rather than the other way
Call
around.
down Rocket Barrage. YYF looks to be safe. Never mind that. Central
No, I
ward.
mean it's
Place
going
that
to
around.
be a continuing amount of pressure top, definitely. I was just saying, I think IG likes this situation a lot more than Orange does, simply because they relieved a tremendous amount of the pressure that would be getting thrown out on Phantom Assassin, and even set up a situation where now the 2 versus 2 isn't really favored for Orange, as you can see. So it's a very happy situation where Phantom Assassin isn't getting a tremendous amount of pressure placed on her early.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Orange to be in that position where they can afford to rotate a little bit more and maybe try to go for some kills of their own, but they need Batrider for that. And Batrider kind of needs his blink for that, and he is very far away from his blink.
Yeah.
And otherwise he needs to get lucky with a rune perhaps, but it is Chuan that got the rune. Wow, they want to go for Mushi. There comes a Crush. Bounty Hunter here again as well. This time he has a track as well. Don't put it up just yet. Oh, there we go. Up on Net, who came in as well. Looking for maybe a goal, but everybody out too fast.
Yeah, this is the thing. They picked Undying so that they could force this sort of confrontation early, and they haven't actually gotten the Undying into any fights. Like, Net just cast Tombstone, and it was fine, but it didn't get them any kills. When you pick Undying, you kind of have to have it pay off in the laning phase. And so far, Net has struggled to do anything.
Whoa,
and now he's being
Net!
jumped on.
Trouble. Track just wore off, so that wouldn't be a track if he goes down. The Spirits might still get him anyway, though. Whoa, keeping himself up. Soul Rip helping out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could just see that at this point, Joe and Chuan are just so much more comfortable moving around. They're going to add the drums onto this PA, is what I would expect, and that gives them even more clashing power. And because the Undying struggled to generate opportunities early, he's going to start behind.
Ohio up the high ground, keeps him safe. Only one crit from Joe.
Yeah, I think Ohio has done well, given his resources. There hasn't really been any rotation of supports in the middle to try to help his situation. Correctly so, as I don't think they would have been able to kill Ferrari. But they do finally find faith in the top.
Yeah, just a solo kill. Harassment with Flat Cannon, Rocket Barrage, cooldown. All that it took, but KYXY might be in a little bit of trouble. YYF comes in and he's not the only one. TP out, but the Shuriken toss will be there. And in comes Zoe. We'll be able to jump forward. The track is there, and this is going to be a track kill. No hope for KYXY, I think. And that's going to be indeed YYF with the last hit. More gold going the way of IG.
Yeah. I think IG playing their lineup to the hilt so far. Coming out of the draft, you don't necessarily look at this lineup and be like they have a strong advantage against Orange. And in fact, Orange have quite a bit going for them. Slardar has gotten good farm. Gyrocopter, even with that death, has done quite well. But IG so far looking pretty good, and really good laning decisions in particular, and playing the lane very well, especially the bottom.
Yeah, for Orange it's case to survive the mid game, survive the aggression from IG, basically having damage control while still finding farm. And it's gonna be tough the way this is going, because IG, they show that they're everywhere, and they're gonna be picking up net mid as well. That's gonna be a track kill on the board once again. Telekinesis wasn't there. Here comes a crush. Last two. They want to go on Ferrari. They will be able to get him too, but the living armor mechanism helping him keep himself up. Astral imprisonment there as well, making sure that Slardar cannot chase. 4 stacks of sticky napalm though. Whoa, that Shuriken toss does a lot of damage to Ohio, having to back off of it. And Ferrari keeps himself up, only still 1 to 4, with a lot of heroes rotating for Orange to fight this fight, but couldn't find any kills.
The awkward thing about Slardar is he's this mixture of a hero with gank potential, with sprint Slithering Crush, and in fact Slithering Crush is an excellent stun. It's really, really good. 2.5 stun in an AoE, and it's got a slow effect on it. I mean, that's great, and it does good damage as well. But the issue is, you can stun somebody, but they really lack for damage until KYXY gets more items. You can see him, I mean, he has Ring of Basilius and part of a BKB with his money. I don't fault him for this. I think BKB is a very sensible pickup. But it does mean that the Slardar isn't delivering the damage, and the Gyrocopter isn't delivering the damage. So you can cast Amplify damage on somebody, and they did on Ferrari in that attempted gank. But if you don't actually have physical damage to amplify, it doesn't matter whether or not it's on the OD. Living Armor is going to be enough for him to walk away from the fight.
Yeah, and it will take him a while before Mushi has got some items up as well, because, I mean, he stayed alive on that bottom lane. But his farm is not really something to write home about, even though net worth is still second highest for his team. It's quite a lot below Zoe. And tracks going off here on the top lane as well. KYXY might be in a little bit of trouble here if they continue to move on him. But also KYXY getting a bit of support here. And he actually realizes, you know what, I don't get any farm top, I need to go bottom. And he finds farm there. We'll be up against Faith, who was trying to get up some levels. He's actually level 8. Doing fairly well for a support Treant Protector. And level 8 is actually the same level as the carry of his team, so yeah. Oh, wraparound gank, Orange, coming middle lane. Speed is up, Telekinesis was already there. Here comes the crash, only hits on Ferrari, but Ferrari's still in a lot of trouble. There comes the mechanism, living armor. Where is it? Not just there, last two, gonna hit a Ferrari as well, and he finally goes down. Chuan coming in with the relocate, trying to keep himself up, will be able to do so. Overgrowth coming in, but Zoe still goes down. Faith walking himself out there. Same thing goes for YYF. Maybe the Rubik still went down on Orange, but I think they definitely won this fight in the mid lane. They might even be able to get something out of it as well in terms of map control. Tier 1 tower under siege.
Intriguing choice to double down on that with the IO PA coming in. I'm not sure why they expected that. So that's the sort of ideal situation for Undying, right? Undying would love to see more squishy heroes commit to a fight. Ooh, trouble here. I'm not sure Ferrari should come in.
Ooh, nice deny though from Ferrari. And an Astral Imprisonment, making sure that Mushi is not there. In comes out. That's gonna be a questionable decision. But the Eclipse comes down as well. Mushi gonna go down. Track kill going the way of IG. They look for more. Gonna find Ned if he's not careful. Track goes on just before he is in trouble of dying. Oh, Shuriken does. That's a kill indeed. The rest of Orange backing off 2 track kills for IG. And they take the deny on their tower. They do take a lot of harassment in return, but not losing any of their heroes. And they don't have to back off because they got a mechanism, they got living armor. And they can just continue being here. 5-man mid.
Great use of Eclipse there. Initially I was kind of scared for Ferrari. I wasn't sure if the rest of the team would sort of how quickly they were going to run in to help him, but they're using this mechanism, the one that they built it quite a bit earlier than Orange would have any chance to because of the presence of Outworld Devourer. They're really using that in a smart way. Like, they're using the mechanism to sort of just allow them to outmuscle Orange in these fights. And of course, the first fight, you have the Tombstone. The second fight, first it's on cooldown, and then Undying simply doesn't have the mana. We're talking about Undying with no sustainability items. He's just got Boots of Speed. So he's not going to be able to continue spamming those spells, especially if he takes a lot of hits early. So I think that was very good of IG. There was the first fight in which it didn't look good for them, and then they turned it around before Orange had their sort of cooldowns up to make something happen.
Yeah, and they just smoked up, but then walked right past YYF on his Invis Bounty Hunter. And don't have any detection. So they end up just wasting their smoke. And going further bottom, but IG already knew what was happening, so... It's already backed off. Looks like Orange just want to continue with their 5-man aggression though. Pushing down the bottom lane. Before tier 1 tower. IG already gathering up behind it.
They know they don't have to deal with Sanity's Eclipse now, so that's certainly a relief. That Sanity's Eclipse did tremendous damage to... It actually hit every single hero.
Oh, Mushi, careful there. Gets a track for his troubles.
I like what I like what Faith is doing here. A lot of people I've seen don't level the first ranking guys until after they max Leech Seed. I actually like the first rank a little earlier. Here, because they always have to realize that you're stealth, they don't know where you are. Overgrowth on a team with a lack of stuns is actually a great initiation tool if you do it from stealth.
Yeah, and even better if if you're gonna take a fight and Orange is the one to push in, because you're gonna be fighting next to that tree line. You don't have to really move all too far away from the tree line to try and get that initiation going. It is gonna be IG that doesn't get the fight that they maybe were hoping for though. Orange playing it very safe and is gonna be hanging around KYXY, maybe creating a false sense of them backing off and hoping that IG goes on KYXY instead.
That's pretty iffy. Like, if you're IG, you definitely don't walk up there. There's almost no reason why you would do that, even if there wasn't the great possibility that you get trapped.
Well, on top of that, they've got that ward there, so they do see everybody of Orange.
And it's ward.
Thinking Lasso, YYF, look at him go! Here comes the relocate, Overgrowth comes in up on 4 though, and Zhao gets free range, takes down X first, if he has a chance. But it is the Overgrowth that got stolen by X. He will try to TP himself out, won't be able to do so in the meantime. Io already goes down as well. Astral Imprisonment, still trying there to keep the Ferrari a little bit safer. Stops himself out, ends up going down anyway. KYXY, he's just sitting there with Rocket Barrage and Flak Cannon taking a ton of damage, but enough to stay alive. Soul Rip keeps him up a little while longer. Shuriken Toss almost enough to take him down. 22 HP right now, trying to TP himself out, should be able to do just that. In comes YYF perhaps, but getting slowed tons by the sticky napalm charges, and they have to be careful there because they do take a ton of damage, and we might see Ohio actually trying to make something happen there, but that was a fight very nice for Orange. I think they could have, it could have gone a lot worse, but they don't take the tower, which they of course came for to begin with.
That's, honestly, I'm just surprised that KYXY lived through it. That was really clutch to actually get him out of that fight, especially using Batrider to cover his escape with constant napalm. You end up with YYF with 7 stacks of napalm, Joe with 5. They're definitely very happy that they got the gyrocopter out of that fight safe and sound, because it was looking bloody. They end up with a 3-for-2 trade. They didn't get the tower, but honestly, I think it's a good trade for them nonetheless.
Yeah, the best they could hope for. And I mean, Ferrari went down in that fight, so that's a nice win for them. They do go back bottom lane. Looks like the other 2 lanes are kind of forgotten at the moment. 5 versus 5 bottom at the moment is the call, not mid, but bottom. IG already sitting around the tier 1 again. Orange, they don't want to give up. They really want to take this tower down. And one thing that's of course troublesome if you're taking on a team that has a Train Protector, You can't just hope to chip away some damage at the tower and in the end you'll get it. No, you have to take it down or it will get healed up again and you have to start from the front again. Ohio, he's gonna start things off again. Has got a lasso up, wants to go for a blink, maybe getting down. No, he gets YYF again. As for imprisonment, it looks the same one. Here comes Chuan, this time by himself. BKB turned on, cooldown coming down, rocket barrage, flat cannon, and that is gonna be KYX by doing what he can and killing off all that he sees, although nobody really goes down just yet. With Chuan in the end, that's the first one to drop. KYX by getting the kill, but again, I mean, they don't get a tower, they get forced back. They gotta support IO, great, but you know, I don't think that's what they came for. But if they continue training like this, I mean, that's nice.
They're also, they have the BKB on Gyrocopter. Maybe they feel as though keeping the 5 players of IG in place is already in some respects a win. Like, Joe is still, he's not that close to his BKB just yet. Well, he's only about 500 off, so it's okay. That was also, the overgrowth came a little early, I feel. KYXY was able to BKB out of the overgrowth rather than the other way around. IG don't have a lot of ways of forcing the BKB, but if they had forced it and then overgrowth after, I think IG would be very favored that fight because the Gyrocopter won't be able to attack. He can still cast spells, but he can't just spam you.
Yeah, and the first one to actually leave the bottom lane is Zhao, who continues to farm on the top lane for now. Of course, he's totally left alone. He's got 2600 gold. He's definitely not doing bad. In terms of net worth, it's still KYXY that is highest here, though he is been involved in 5 out of the 7 kills, and this BKB is just cooled off again, and you know, why not go again? 3 times is a charm. This time, IG is not completely here just yet. They come back though. Didn't think that Orange was gonna come back on the bottom lane again. This time from the other side, Ohio looking for a lasso, finds himself Faith, but as for imprisonment, keeps Faith safe for a little while longer. And of course, he is invisible as well, so that's gonna be a lasso wasted, and maybe now IG can take a fight back. Io and Zoe will be able to be here if need be with a relocate that Chuan has up again. But they are actually running.
Ferrari's very on point with these Astral Imprisonments in response to Lasso. It's been extremely quick to... I mean, it's the same idea as using like a Roar on Batrider or a Disruption. I guess Disruption's the best analog when somebody gets lassoed. He's causing a lot of pressure to have to target him. But if they do decide to lasso Ferrari, he can sort of Astral Imprison himself at the end, or there's other things that they can do. They can try to tether and heal him with the IO. Not that much on the IO yet as far as actual healing abilities. He's got an Urn of Shadows, but they haven't gotten any kills since he's done it. And he's got a Magic Wand, so he's doing okay, but I think they're sort of generating the pressure to have to target Ferrari and nobody else.
Yeah, in the meantime, we've got Rubik stealing track, one of the most important spells to steal in this game. Of course, the reason why you pick up a Bounty Hunter is to get track kills. And if you're then having your opponent team getting track kills instead, your Bounty Hunter all of a sudden doesn't really matter anymore. Blink in Lasso, they catch Ferrari, the one that's been saving every Lasso target so far. Can they take him down in time? Yes, they can. In for the next. Faith is going to be the one. Faith tries to make himself invisible, but he won't be able to do so. Double kill for KYXY. In the meantime, BKB turned on by Zoe. He tries to run, isn't able to get a kill so far. IO goes down as well. That's 3 down on the side of IG. And everybody of Orange lives, and that is the difference between grabbing anybody else but the OD or grabbing the OD. No safe. And that's going to be IG finally losing their tier 1 tower. 4th time Orange goes 5-man bottom.
Yeah, and I guess 4th time's a charm. That was just far better execution, and I mean, we were just talking about how they really had to actually get the OD with the lasso. Because they got the OD, there was no IO there to heal him. He's the one... That's the other thing. He's the one carrying the mechanism. If anybody else is carried, even if Imprison is on cooldown, he can mechanism them through part of it. And instead, if you get the OD, all of a sudden, IG is facing a fight where they don't have AoE damage, because they don't have the Sunday's Eclipse, which is their only source of AoE damage, keep in mind. They don't have the mechanism to heal them. They don't have the prison. Like, they lose so many of their teamfight tools when Ferrari is down. So Orange just making a good decision there and reaping the rewards of that decision. 3 for 0 and a tower. Now they're looking really good.
Now, of course, in the meantime, I mean, Orange did spend a ton of time on the bottom lane. And Zoe, in the meantime, was still farming. So he had his BKB. Of course, it didn't really matter in the previous fight, as we saw. I mean, he used it to get away in the end. But he still managed to get himself quite a respectable amount of farm. And I think mostly in terms of levels, it is going to be something that IG... kind of was getting in favor to, and even with a big team fight going the way of Orange, they only bring it down to 0, and that's just a result of just spending so much time with 5 of them on one lane. The same thing goes for the gold. Like, brilliant fight you just won, but you're just making it even rather than getting ahead.
I agree with you, Shiver. I think that's a great point. And also, just following on from that thought, Slardar. So, during that fight, or during that entire push to down the tier 1 bot, Undying is happy, because that's sort of, you know, Undying, that's where he wants to be. He wants to be in a 5v5 situation. Gyrocopter is happy because, hey, Gyrocopter doesn't care. He's going to get every last hit in the lane anyway, because of Flat Cannon. So those two are happy, but Slardar is not. Look at how low Mushi's farm is, especially for any Mushi hero. Mushi usually has, you know, double these last hits at this point, and Slardar is a hero we talked about. He is a little bit item dependent. He hasn't gone the Blink, he's gone the sort of BKB route, and so the Slardar is going to struggle to be much more than a walking stun and an amp damage as the game drags on, unless they find Mushi some extra free farm.
Yeah, and Orange, they scouted out that YYF was around there. It looks like they're just gonna do the same thing again, but then top. It's like, you know, I like it from them. I mean, you can try to take them out of tier 1 towers and then just trying to force out team fights until you get them, but I feel like they're trying a bit too hard without getting everything in return that they should be. Because if IG was sitting behind this tier 1 tower, I mean, great. That means that they are also not getting more than just that one lane of farm, but that's not the case. They're actually able to apply some pressure here to the bottom tier 1 tower. They're 3 in the middle, so they might be able to take even 2 towers in return for losing their tier 1 top. But tier 1 top is lost. Maybe they're gonna be able to fight here. Blink in, TP in, won't be able to get anything in the end. Tier 1 tower middle will still end up going down though, and IG makes her a nice trade with that as well. Whoa, Track sure can toss Gyro in some trouble perhaps, but will be able to keep himself out of harm's way.
Well, very bold by Chuan.
Yeah, looking to relocate in. Goldon actually coming down, doesn't hit anything. They actually look for fights here. Relocate is already back out. YYF will be the one there. There's already an amplified damage on cooldown, so he can't get it off. They need to see him. They don't see him. No vision. Amplified damage. Sentry Ward goes down too late. Was it on the creep?
Sorry?
Was the amplified damage on the creep?
Oh, I didn't... No, I think he just cast it on... who did he get it on? That's a good question.
I think it was
I'm not entirely sure. But he didn't get YYF, and so Bounty Hunter walks away.
Yeah, and the tier 1 tower bottom goes down. So all tier 1 towers down on both teams. Slightly favoring IG because they were able to just get lanes, 2 lanes of farm out of that rather than just 1. And we do see the gold graph going their direction. Same thing for the experience graph. But the differences are still minimal. As there is quite a nice ancient stack for KCY to take down. He has got himself the Demon Edge, so MKB is going to be his next item of choice. He already has the Helm of the Dominator, of course.
The thing with amp damage, of course, in general is if you're just relying on it for True Sight, you're almost... You never want to not cast amp damage because you think you might need the True Sight in a second. That's why you also see them still buying stuff like sentries. Of course, counter warding is very, very important for them as well, but they do actually want a source of vision even though they have the amp damage, simply because whoever you're attacking, amp damage is a tremendous damage boost on that hero. Especially considering that Gyro, like, Gyro's now level 13, so he's the second highest level on the map. He's got Demon Edge. You want to amp his target.
Yeah. This really depends on who they're going to try to focus for, and if they do the same thing as they did before. 5 manning, or will Mushi now, you know, retreat a little bit, get a little bit of extra farm, get his BKB up maybe at some point. It really depends what Orange is planning with their game style here. I mean, in terms of late game potential, both teams looking pretty okay. Also in terms of team fight. And it will depend on how much farm the supports and semi-carriers can get in this fight, I think.
I'm also looking at PA as she builds out, so Joe is at the point where he's gotten all the what's regarded as sort of modern PA core. He hasn't gone Vlad's, which is very typical these days, so this is definitely not the Loda build, for instance. There's no drums, no Vlad's. He does have BKB. He's got Basher, which is a fantastic item for Phantom Assassin. The Phantom Strike gives you so much attack speed that you can almost ensure that you'll proc the Bash once when you blink onto someone. I like this build out, and now he can layer additional damage onto it.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, there's 2 heroes on the side of Orange that have got a basically default BKB building lineup. So you have got the Gyrocopter, who already has his BKB, Slardar wants a BKB, and then the Bashes, of course, are gonna still go through that. So it's gonna be something to do with Orange if so gets himself all big and fat as IG takes down Roshan. No debate about this. Orange either completely unaware that this is happening or decided, you know what, we can't fight them at the moment, so let's not even try.
Yeah. That was a really good Roche pickup. Of course, they have the dire advantage. You can see that they expended quite a bit of vision. This mid ward is not a fairly unusual spot to put after the tier 1 mid is down. I mean, and just in general, it does cover this angle of approach to the Roshan, so they got the Roshan advantage. Slardar is a hero that almost guarantees that you can kill Roche extremely quickly, so it's great to be able to steal that away from them, even though they do have the dire advantage.
Yeah, they did of course have the Medallion of Courage up on face to also get themselves some minus armor up on Roshan to take him down faster.
Which is cool, by the way. Usually you would see the Medallion on the Bounty Hunter, but this is not a great time for that because you want the Bounty Hunter to sort of not sacrifice any survivability against Slardar. Whereas Treant, you know, he dies, it's okay.
Yeah, basically. I mean, also, you are up against a lineup that just, you know, you have got 2 strong cores up on Orange. The cores up on IG is still pretty okay, with the OD being the secondary core, of course, and if he continues to get ahead, he will still be very strong. Once the BKBs are there, of course, a little bit countered, but you want to try to get your Bounty Hunter in a bit of a semi-carry position as well. First, though, like you said, he needs to survive, he needs to get his BKB up, and he, like I said, he needs to survive. It's going to be a little bit tougher with Ohio picking up a Gem of True Sight. And there will be control going the way of Orange. Also, of course, in terms of map control, those wards that you were talking about will get countered.
They did. Yeah, one thing that Orange are also doing is they have the BKB down Slardar now. They were, I think, concerned about the survivability of Slardar, especially in these extended engagements, and now they feel a lot better about it. I think they also feel a little bit under the gun. They maybe don't want to give IG the space to operate, especially by clearing out these outer towers. They can sort of try to start getting map control back.
Yeah, they don't want to force anything here, though. They don't see anybody on the map of IG apart from the top lane, Ferrari, who TPs himself out.
I mean, they have an MKB on Gyro. I think they feel good about... It's that you finish items. You know that if you finish an item at a particular time, you probably have the advantage until the enemy finishes their items. So you can try to generate something with that. And that's what they're trying to do here.
Trying to force out a fight again. 5-on-5 bottom. Like the name of the game here, this entire game. Most of the kills have happened on this bottom lane. Drenched in blood. Sentry ward's already there, preemptively done by Orange, just in case they will see YWF coming in to try and sneak some harassment in, perhaps. But IG defending their tier 2. Question is if Orange is gonna go back and try to kill them still, or just is happy with hereby wasting time of IG, of course.
Yeah. I mean, also IG have the Aegis on the OD, so Lasso on OD is a lot less valuable. It's part of the reason Orange isn't 100% confident about, and all. Also, I like the gem, because the thing is, it's not just about spotting Bounty Hunter, it's also about, you know that the Treant can overgrowth you from a weird angle, and you can just slay him extremely quickly.
And I think IG actually smoked under the range of the ward, but at least it is Orange that is all safe behind the tier 2 towers. IG not able to get anything done with the smoke, and we'll just go back to farming in the end.
Yeah, they don't actually have anything to extremely quickly farm. Like, they don't have any AoE. The Phantom Assassin, you don't typically see that Battle Fury being picked up at the professional level, simply because it, I don't know, it's such a... Well, I won't go too much into the Battle Fury, but it's not tremendously typical. And the OD has no cleave, they don't have a Magnus to provide cleave, they don't have Dragon Knight, they don't have Gyrocopter. So they can clear these Ancients, it's still very useful for them, but it's not going to happen quite as quickly, and you're not going to see them stack them as determinedly as a team with what those AoE heroes would.
Yeah, now Orange, by the way, smoked up, looking for kills again. They are 5-manning this a lot, though, and I'm thinking it's hurting them quite a bit, because they're not getting too much farm in the meantime. Of course, IG also 5-manning a little bit, but, you know, Ancient Sect just taken down. They go to the Dire Jungle, get some farm there, and Orange is just waiting time, and this is all in IG's favor. They are getting more out of this than Orange is getting. Experience graph, gold graph, both going the way of IG. Again, though, still not really by that much of a high of an amount.
It's very tense. I mean, you've seen both teams smoke now. You've seen Orange, I think, smoke twice. IG smoke once. No real results, because both teams playing very, very cagey. Orange has a gem, so every time they actually walk by an IG ward, they can clear it out. I don't think IG has a gem. Let me do a quick spot check to make sure I'm not crazy.
Wisp had one just a moment ago, but I guess he gave it away. Treant. No. They had it. They counter-warded the wards on the bottom lane. The hell?
Oh, yeah. There's
Oh,
a gem
it's on the courier.
courier. Sorry.
I was gonna say,
so
I just saw one.
Both teams can run around with smoke and just counter ward. That's actually not a bad use of a smoke, for instance. But it's not great either. Because they know once you counter ward that where you are.
Yep. There goes the ward on the high ground. Just vanished. And IG already clearing out their own jungle. I mean, yeah, it is tense. We are gonna see Zoe though. He is really doing it. He is building a Radiance, I think, or an MKB actually. Probably an MKB, maybe to already preemptively counter a possible butterfly up on KYXY. What am I saying MKB for? He just picked up a relic. That's an abyssal. Wow. Brain fart right there. Awkward.
It's no problem. The relic, I mean, Abyssal is good on PA for the same reason Basher is good on PA. You're already making the Basher more often than not. The Abyssal will stun somebody for 2 seconds, and you have a Gyrocopter who's already expended 2 charges of his BKB. As that gets lower and lower, you lock out a larger and larger percent of it with Abyssal plus 1 Bash proc. It's just a very good item for PA. You want the damage too. And like I said, you're almost always building the Basher.
Yeah, in the meantime, both teams... it's kind of funny, like, they're playing cat and mouse with the cat and mouse role reversed every single time. And Orange, you can see, like you said, you can see the tension. They're sticking together the whole time. Like, no exceptions. Yep. They are just so afraid of losing one fight, because it is so even that losing one fight right now could just cost you the entire balance that you've built up. And then, therefore, lose you the game in the end. So, one fight could mean tipping the scales. So far, we've seen even trades.
Well, yeah, I mean, the trades have gone back and forth, and both teams would love to be the team starting a fight and would hate to be the team on the receiving end of a fight, basically. That's the other issue. Especially now that the Aegis is gone on Ferrari as of about, what, a minute and a half ago? If Orange jump in on Ferrari and they lock him down and kill him extremely quickly and just wipe the rest of IG, especially as IG loses outer towers, so it's difficult to just buy back and reinforce, Orange are very happy if they jump in and IG doesn't sort of know the fight's starting until it goes. Same goes for IG, frankly. When you're the team that has fewer sort of stuns to go around, your only real AoE disable is that overgrowth and it doesn't prevent spellcasting. You want to be the team that initiates if at all possible because you want to just kill some of the stun sources on the other team. I actually think, I don't know, my difficulty is still that Slardar has this similarity to Chaos Knight in that his flash farm simply isn't tremendously good. So if he's not having a good game, it's tough to turn a mediocre game into a good one. You can see that Mushi, he's trying his best to farm, but the differential of net worth between him and the cores of IG is just growing rather than decreasing. He's only about where Bounty Hunter is.
And in the meantime, we've got the Butterfly starting to build up on the Gyrocopter. He already has his MKB, so the blur coming off from the PA is not going to be an issue anymore, of course, unless he's going to get stunned and then, you know, doesn't matter what he does, but he won't be able to kill off anybody. And with stunned, of course, I mean Abyssal Bladed. He is going to be the target for that Abyssal Blade, because right now, he is going to be the one that does most of the damage. And even in his BKB, of course, Abyssal goes through it, so if you can just stop him attacking, it's going to mean a big thing. As Orange, again, smoking up. As you said, they want to be the one to determine where, when, how, and what. IG, same story, sitting on the high ground. Who gets the surprise attack? Tier 2 tower taking quite a bit of harassment. IG, when are they going to jump in? And are they going to jump in? Maybe some tracks there. KYXY getting some extra vision. They're going to go in, perhaps. Stifling Dag already there. Hex up on a while. There goes the Eclipse. House One Prism straight away. BKB up on everybody. KYXY, look at that damage. Gets dropped. Has, of course... No, actually doesn't have an Aegis. Never mind that. Ferrari still alive. It will be Slardar that goes down. That's 3 dead on the side of IG, with Undying also going down. IG in the end getting the coordination that they wanted to have. Getting the initiation, of course, up on Orange, who was not completely prepared for that one. The Hex, of course, to start things off. I think they were quite surprised by that one as they hadn't seen it yet. And IG, they win themselves a big fight with this time not trading anything in return.
Yeah, that was a fantastic initiation combination. Orange ran out of smokes, first of all, and secondly, they were sort of at the tower passively attacking. They hadn't spotted IG, and IG were all sort of arrayed on the high ground and the low ground here. IG moves west. A lot of great things there. Good jump in by Ferrari. I think he force-staffed himself in, got a big Sanity's Eclipse off. Immediately, Ohio has to leave the fight. Not just that. Once the Sanity's Eclipse lands and deals damage to everybody, you have to reflexively BKB almost. So Gyro and Slardar BKB, and then an enormous overgrowth from Faith. That was such a clutch overgrowth. If you can overgrowth after everybody's BKB'd, it's tremendously effective because suddenly, you know, they can't cast their spells, Slardar can't stun, and IG just mops up a fight and takes the Roche off it. You can just see in that situation why the teams were nervous to take a fight that they didn't initiate, because the initiation potential is tremendous. Big problem for Orange, they're out of smokes for 10 minutes, so they can't even do that again in terms of getting a surprise attack.
Yeah, they do pretend like they have a smoke though, or at least they are gonna go back with 5 man going inside the dire jungle. They do have a ward up the high ground, so they know that they are not spotted out. I think they still have the gem. They should, yeah, they should. Bad Rider still has a gem, so they know that they weren't scouted out. But at the same time, IG, they do have still smokes, and they smoke up, and they go, and they'll probably try to find a fight. Top TP's in already there for H1. Will be trying to get himself a tether stun going, maybe, perhaps. If he can get it going. Maybe relocate if he wants to behind the fight. Of course, backstab all the supports, make them very sad. And IG, looking for an initiation again. Let's see if they get it. This time Orange a little bit more careful, backing off a lot earlier.
I mean, Orange know what IG want to do. They know that they want to Eclipse and then basically overgrowth them after BKB. So knowledge is power in that respect. I mean, especially if they can make IG have to go way far onto them. Like, if Slardar can still stun, you're actually okay. Because if they're on top of you and they overgrowth you and you stun them all, that's fine, because the stun will eat a lot of the overgrowth time and then you can start attacking again. But if IG's far enough away and they overgrowth you and they just dump damage on you from range, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, look at Orange, hoping that someone comes to farm top, perhaps. Oh, like it's so tough. I mean, they know that what's the situation they're in, right? So they try to make something happen, but they just can't get it done.
It's also that they can't really just solo farm very easily because, I mean, we haven't talked about relocate gank potentials in a while, but there is this beat boop IO sitting on the other team, right? And the PA is now big enough that if you have somebody who's not protected, they will kill you. Like, just because the IO hasn't done anything to gank in a while doesn't mean that's not an ever-present threat.
Yeah. There goes the Hex up on KYX bike, gets force-staffed into safety. He's got himself the Talisman of Invasion right now. And that will help out, but we will have Zhao having his MKB in just a moment. Only needs about 15 gold rather to just get it done for him. And then Butterfly, even though it's not even completed yet, is not going to be of any issue for him to burn through with his damage that he has. There we go. MKB complete. Bunzo. Go.
Yeah. And you just... The thing about the... I'll just keep talking about the IO a little bit. The thing about the IO here is you can see its effect on the flow of a game, even when you don't get that many relocate ganks. Because the simple fact that it could happen causes the other team to modify their behavior substantially. Like, has Mushi's net worth even changed in the last 10 minutes or so? He's still at about 8k. Even Bounty Hunter is now eclipsing him. And this is the comfort that you have when IO is on your side rather than the other side.
And of course, on top of that, you've said it before, I'll just point it out again because it's so tough for Slardar position to be in. He can't take any farm because they're 5-manning, and the farm all goes to KYX by.
Yeah. I mean, he couldn't take any farm if he wants to, because Gyrocopter just one-shots the entire wave, right? Like, it's smart to put a lot of farm on Gyrocopter. I mean, I don't know, just the Slardar has not really been able to do much this game.
Not at all. And flight damage is of course nice to have. Oh, there he goes again, getting a bit of vision there. But other than that, yeah, it's kind of sad. We normally see Mushi with so much more farm, so much more potential than what he is at right now. And IG, they're in a pretty comfortable spot. And it looks like they might even try to force out a fight, even though they are, well, would then try to fight under a tier 2 tower. Yeah.
Yeah. IG are in complete control of when they want to fight. Orange are, in terms of the amount of choices Orange have, they have barely anything that they can do other than just 5-man roll around the map as Gyro gets more farm. Whereas IG can do whatever they want, more or less. They can take a fight if and when they want to, and until then they can farm up 3 heroes.
Yeah, and they're in no rush to make anything happen. Of course, IG rather want to see Orange struggle a little bit and then, you
Yeah,
know,
it's,
hope
kinda
that they
cruel,
make.
but-
Yeah, it's just they're playing with their food.
yeah. Well, because they know they can, and I do think that they maybe could use the Aegis to start a fight, but they don't feel the pressure to take any risks here, because there's almost nothing that Orange can actively do to them. Orange is stuck in a reactive position. When there were still smokes available for Orange, do they have smokes now? No, they still have 3 minutes. When there were still smokes available, Orange could try to take the proactive, will initiate with Bat Rider into Slardar stun, take down Outworld Devourer, and make something else happen. But now they're stuck only responding to what IG presents them, if anything.
Yeah, and I mean, the vision that they would rely on to initiate properly, to indeed get the right lassos off and such, they can't really rely on that anymore because gems on both sides, so wards there getting countered. Orange, they try again though. On the top lane, let's see. So, it's gonna be the target, of course, IG. They're gonna be ready for this. Blink lasso, Trekk's already gonna be up there on the Bat Rider. Maybe they can take down Zoe, and they do take him down super fast. Everybody of IG too far away. And I think they kind of were surprised by where Orange actually showed up on the map. They're gonna be retreating to their tier 3, dropping even the gem to get picked up by the courier. It's like, you know, a fight is about to start, just in case we die. We don't want to have the gem to losing, or don't want to lose the gem. And of course, I don't really need the gem during a fight because I'm not fighting an invis hero. So I kind of like it.
Well, they do have... Oh, you mean IG? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you said the team was far away. I feel like Joe is sort of a little far away. That's a nice kill for Orange. It doesn't necessarily change the game all the way around, but it's definitely a nice pickup. They get a tier 2 tower off of it. He had just bought, I think, the rest of his MKB, so no buyback, and it's a nice kill. They have Blink on Mushi, so he's not going to be doing any semi-carry work for a very long time, but what he is a stun anywhere you want it, which is great.
Yeah, AoE stun. And Centaur is just gonna triple stun up on Orange.
It's a great stun. I mean, it's until War Runner is in the CM pool, this is one of the best flash AoE melee stuns you can get.
Yep, I have to get in there though with, of course, the Blink not getting put on cooldown. And will depend on who initiates. Of course, if you're Orange, you want to initiate yourself. But you actually want to initiate with Mushi there as well. Just BKB, blink in, crush, and then take the fight. IG, they want to initiate with 4 staff hex, getting Eclipse dropped on top of everybody, or maybe even an Overgrowth. They have actually a lot more initiation abilities, because Zoe could jump in with the BKB on as well if she wants to go for the initiation.
They're gonna also want, at this point, since, I mean, Ferrari's Aegis #2 just expired, I suspect they try to get Satanic before Roche #3, take a cheese in Aegis, and just work with that. That's a pretty good plan, honestly, and Orange, although they did get that 1 kill on Phantom Assassin, they're gonna have to fight so much for every single kill that I think IG still feels fairly comfortable with this game, especially if they can kill Gyrocopter fast. That's the main thing, is how quickly can we kill Gyrocopter? Because KYXY could very well have Satanic by the next fight as well.
He's already got 4k gold, so he is also farming tremendously fast. To be fair though, I mean, he's getting every single bit of farm on his team. Or maybe now someone will take something. Oh my god, Net took a creep. Call the newspapers.
How rude.
It is his 14th last hit in this game. That's kind of sad.
It is. I mean, he's got rank 1 boots still on the Undying. You can just see the amount of net worth that... I mean, they've let him have it, but that KYXOS effectively robbed from his team, right? Like, what's his percentage of net worth of his team? It's 50%. He has half the net worth of his team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's, I mean, that's the result. I mean, part of it is having a Wisp on your opponent team. Orange just wants to play it very safe, doesn't want to have to deal with the ganks, so they group up. And of course, we saw them grouping up bottom lane earlier on, and they just showed exactly what they wanted to do, group up and start pressuring IG. But then it didn't really work out because they couldn't get ahead and instead traded, and that's not something that they wanted to be doing. So they tried to surprise IG with initiations. They've recently done it once. Of course, they were able to surprise Joe, even though... Seriously, the chat keeps bashing me on how I pronounce his name. What's the official pronouncement? Because I thought I said it right.
I'm fairly sure it's like so, but, you know, it's fine. The next fight is going to be at Roche, no question about it. It's up in 10 seconds. Both teams know when it is. IG have seized the first 2. You actually saw Net pinging it about a few moments ago, so they know it's up. It's solely a question of where is the fight relative to the Rush Pit, who jumps on who, and I mean we'll see, because we're about to have it, I think. Orange used their smoke.
I think so too. Blink and lasso. BKB's already turned on for everybody. Eclipse drop. That's gonna be Bedride already down. KYX by trying to do something while he's being held in place. Zoe actually ends up going down. YYF running himself away. Chuan drops. Double kill for KYX by, and as long as he is alive, of course, with the Soul Rip helping out, it is looking good for Orange. The buyback was there for Joe as well, and that will make sure that Orange probably backs off and won't be guaranteed a Roshan just yet. They don't have to deal with the Treant nor the Wisp for another 30 seconds, but is it going to be enough to take something off the back of this fight is the question.
So, I think regardless, it's a very good fight for Orange. They forced the buyback from Joe there, and it was just really nice to respond to the BKB with the immediate lasso. They wasted so much BKB time. They were able to bring him down extremely quickly, and look at the parity between Gyrocopter and Phantom Assassin before that fight and after that fight. Phantom Assassin lost a tremendous amount of net worth, isn't even close to her Satanic, whereas Gyrocopter's very close.
Relocate coming in. YYF is already dying bit by the time that they come here though. And this is gonna be Chuan and Ferrari trying to pick up KYX by the Soul Rip is there, and he doesn't get a chance to pop a Satanic. So Joe with the BKB turned on wants to go for Mushi next, gets him as well, and that's gonna be a double kill. And that should be Roshan actually, because Orange,
yeah,
they can't buy back a Gyro actually. Do they want to buy back? They won't be able to buy back Slardar. And
they won't.
Yeah, 5
There's
versus
no way.
4. That's gonna be
There's
Roshan
no way
and
they buy
Cheese.
back. Yeah, I mean, that was really, really nice sort of counter. Orange, it's very frustrating. Imagine you're Orange and 4 of your players haven't done anything for 25 minutes and you win a fight, and the choice you're forced to make is, do we do nothing or do we try to take some sort of trivial advantage? So they did go for the tier 2, and just some nice bash procs and the Abyssal from Phantom Assassin was enough to get the Gyrocopter dead. Once Gyrocopter is dead, you're done, right? Because like we said, Gyrocopter is more than half his team in net worth, and he's like 80% in damage.
Yeah, oh.
Ferrari way ahead.
Yeah, way ahead. Still continuing though, wants to go for Net. Net has his ulti, but I don't think he's gonna be able to pick it up. He goes down, Gem on the floor as he goes, picked up by YYF. That's going to be a courier down as well. The Roshan tried to deliver something. Rocks past the tower is not going to be very favorable for the little mini bitty Roche. He actually had got a lot of items for Chuan, Faith, and Zoe in there, but oh well.
2 Force Staffs and
the Helm of the Dominator.
Part of his Helm of the Dominator,
Yeah.
yeah. But honestly, IG, they just earned such a good advantage. They can wait for the courier to respawn.
Yeah, and they go for the tier 3 a little bit. They won't continue going because right now Gyrocopter back up again, and I mean just him being there is enough to force IG back. The very threatening helicopter guy. In a previous fight though, like on the bottom lane, that Satanic was never used, was it?
Well, in the first fight it was, in the second fight, the one where they jumped in on him, it wasn't. He just tether, Abyssal, bash. Suddenly this is a hero who can effectively lock you down for 5 seconds while she smashes you with crits.
Yeah, it looks like XSplit just decided to reset my stream.
Whoa, not good.
Nope, not good at all. I'm still here in the game though, and I'm hearing you properly fine as well. Maybe you heard me hear the robotic voice? Was that my internet or was it XSplit being an ass?
Sounds fine to me.
Okay, XSplit being an ass it is. But oh well,
So,
no kills happened. Wow.
no kills happened. Not a tremendous surprise, because again, you see that every fight in this game has a huge consequences to it, because you have lineups that are so 5-manny that they can just cause a tumbling effect where if you win a big fight, the other team doesn't have buybacks available, you can, for instance, take Roshan off of it. So all that stuff in the bottom lane actually ended up favoring IG tremendously. They took a big loss, Phantom Assassin fell behind, but then because of Orange's a little bit of overextension afterwards, they get Aegis and Cheese. Aegis could very well expire before the next fight happens, but Cheese won't. They're going to have that Cheese as long as they need it.
Yeah, and they can just save it up until they get a second one, perhaps. Or to use the cheese to get themselves a second cheese, obviously. It's gonna be one
Sure.
thing.
They could definitely do that. The riddle right now, I think, for Orange is how the hell do we keep Gyrocopter alive? Because as long as he stays alive long enough to do his work in a fight, you feel good. But if what happened at bottom tier 2 happens, you lose. You quite possibly lose the game, frankly. I mean, he's got buyback right now, but they don't have something like a Keeper of the Light to send him back in. He's going to need travels to do something like buyback resummon if they fight anywhere away from their base. And he's got the BKB, he's been using it, but that won't stop, for instance, an Abyssal Blade, nor will it stop Overgrowth. So the riddle for them is, what do we do? One option, actually, that's somewhat unorthodox would be Lincoln's, but it doesn't give him any more damage to BKB targets.
Yeah, and it looks like...
To involve the Slardar would be nice, but I don't know how they do it.
Wow. Weird. My internet's doing fine, but XSplit decided to refresh the stream twice in a row. Still no kills happening in the meantime, and it should be up again.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Is it just internet issues or XSplit just crashing?
Just XSplit doing weird things.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Nice 1700 point crit from Joe. I mean, this is the scary thing, right? If PA hits you twice, he's critting for over 1600. Yeah, every crit is over 1600. So, for instance, if we look at Undying has 1328 hit points and 5 armor. So I'm pretty sure a PA hit plus anything will insta-kill, insta-give
Yeah, and he is probably
Rubik?
not going to be on full HP when the fight starts either.
No. And the thing is, because KYXY has monopolized the farm, and he's going Manta Style, Manta Style is a cool choice, but they don't have Assault Cuirass, right? They don't have Vlad's. They don't even have a drum. Like, they have do they even have Basilius? No, right?
Nope.
So they have no AoE armor of any sort. So PA can kill anyone she wants. The nice thing for Orange is that PA is going to feel a lot of pressure to only target Gyrocopter, which, you know, if you're Rubik, that lets you sleep a little easier at night. He does have the Ghost Scepter, which at least makes him a little bit more impervious to getting killed quickly, and Undying as a Ghost Scepter, but once that expires, you're in tremendous danger.
Yeah, and on top of that, Ferrari can just wait with using his Sanity Eclipse before that, for those Ghost Scepters, and boom, you're dead anyway. Because that's gonna hurt. And of course, that's one of the major differences, because of course you can lasso Joe, sorry, and go for the pick off there, go kill him off because he can kill your entire team off. But if you focus on Joe, you leave Ferrari alive, you leave YWF running around, and it's definitely not something that's easy. And he's got a refresher.
He's got a refresher.
Yeah, 2 Sanities Eclipse on top of you is not something that you're going to be happy about. And you already said the BKBs were there, but of course, it's going to get later in the game. There's only 6 seconds left.
The BKBs are fine because they're on Slardar and Gyro. Slardar we've already talked about. IG is not going to care that much. Gyro, their idea is PA kills Gyro. That's all she needs to do. Refresher will already probably kill everybody else. What's the intellect status? He's got 160. Rubik has 78. Yeah, he should be fine. So they should be fine relying on the OD to kill everybody and the PA to kill the Gyro.
Yeah, you mean, like, Rubik is not fine.
No.
No, not at all, not at all.
Oh, I meant the
Yeah, the OD is fine with
Sanity's
killing
Eclipse will
everybody.
be fine to destroy, yeah.
Yeah, I think IG is feeling pretty happy. But again, they do the same thing as we're used from them. Regardless of them having a fairly aggressive lineup, they play it safe, they play it secure, and they don't want to give anything away that they don't need to give away. Just out of fear that Orange might be able to get a bit of a comeback going. Of course, playing it safe, I don't blame them for it. It does make for a bit more passive play. They are quite far ahead. I mean, in terms of how the game has been going, being almost 10k gold ahead, it might not really sound that much, but considering it's never been this far ahead for any team in this game, it's quite decently ahead. Experience graph a little bit more, 12k.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not that much for a 57-minute game, and in fact, the kills aren't that much either for a 57-minute game.
Yeah.
But that's all right. IG, they want this win. I feel they want to sort of control the pace of it. They don't want to randomly give it away, which against a Gyro with 30k net worth, there is always the possibility that you randomly give the game away. So they want to avoid that. Satanic's up on PA, so she'll be able to lifesteal very effectively. Again, Orange, other than Lasso, they don't have that much that's going to disable PA during BKB. So as long as IG can try to avoid what happened earlier with Joe just getting lassoed immediately, they'll be okay.
Now we do have an Ethereal Blade up on the Bounty Hunter, kinda like it. I mean, should So not be there, right? Should he be either dead or on the other side of the field or focusing on someone else, they can just Ethereal Blade the Gyrocopter and he won't be able to attack for a while. And that's pretty nice. Of course, also extra damage going through from the Shuriken toss, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really cool pickup. The Ethereal Blade is, in my opinion, a really good route. They could even pick up a second Ethereal Blade on Outworld Devourer once it gets 3.3k. And then you have effectively, 2 times 6 seconds that the Gyro can't attack as long as he's not BKB.
Oh. IG pretending. No, never mind, they realize. I was gonna say pretending that Joe is here by himself, but the track was there. And Orange is gonna play it safe. You saw them maybe hesitating, maybe thinking about maybe we can get a lasso off. Maybe we can kill him before the fight actually starts. But
yeah, that's pretty much your only hope if you're Orange. Especially if you can kill somebody before they actually get a chance to use their cheese. The reason I say somebody is because PA already has 1 cheese, but we have a new Roshan in a minute. And I suspect IG are just going to want to wait. At this point, this is... I mean, I thought Chuan and Mushi were going to go get some food after this, but I guess Chuan wants to starve Mushi out because they've allowed this game to extend very, very long, past a point at which, in my opinion, IG has a fairly convincing advantage. The thing is, though, that they have no incentive to actually end it, right? Except, to go get food. So unless they're very hungry, they can just keep this going as long as they want, get as many cheeses as they want, and move it from, 80% likelihood of victory to 99.
to be fair, I think everybody is quite hungry. Playing Dota makes you hungry. I know that for a fact.
It does.
And, Chuan is Chuan. Boom! Oh, the bird.
Well, we're gonna have Roche, and Orange, the nice thing is, if you know that IG are doing this greedy, we want every Roshan strategy, hey, at least you know where they'll be every 10 minutes.
Yay.
And maybe they could try to get a fight around the pit, steal the... Oh, there they are, smoked.
Yeah, they're looking for
see.
something. BKB already turned on, though. In comes the blink, and Mushi taking a ton of damage. Soul Rip will keep him safe for a little while longer. KYX turns on his BKB. Look at the crits, though. Turns on his Satanic. Zoe uses the cheese. Faith, Overgrowth. Now he can die a happy tree and will indeed do that. IG still alive. Eclipse getting dropped. That is going to be Slaughter on the floor. Slaughter buys back, though. Refresh already used. KYX gets critted down. Another Eclipse kind of misses. Might have been Rubik's Eclipse, to be fair, as we see the Undying still going down. X getting slowed down. Joe looking for him. We'll be able to just pick him off. KYX did buy back, but I don't think he's going to be able to save the Roshan with this. Mushi still alive as well, or at least again alive. Bob back. And the only one that kind of survived that one for Orange was Ohio on his Bat Rider, who was able to get a last 2 off, but in the end, didn't really work out too much.
Yeah, I mean, the issue for Orange is just... they're so far behind on the buyback situation doesn't favor them because really KYXO is the only guy who's going to be able to buy back, right? I mean, now you have buyback on Bat Rider. He actually has a very decent amount of gold himself. He can, if he gets a little more gold, actually build an Ethereal Blade of his own. For Orange, I think it's more about defensive Ethereal Blades. Like, you can Ethereal Blade one of your own players.
Oh,
here we
go. They go for Sao. Joe again.
Nice.
Rocket Barrage. Not doing any damage to BKB's turn on, but still the physical damage is enough to take him down. That's gonna be a buyback. And nobody else goes down apart from, of course, Mushi, who still was sitting there. OD
That's a great buyback
able
to force.
Take him down. Yeah, and I mean, Mushi goes down again, and of course, it is a bought back Mushi, so he won't be able to buy back for a while. Do you think it's gonna be rewarded with a Roshan, though? It looks like they're just gonna go. Yeah, why not?
The buyback situation, again, because they didn't have to use the Joe's buyback in the first game. Sorry, in the first engagement. He used cheese. So they're just able to take Roshan because Orange can't afford to not win this fight. They can't even afford to sort of draw the fight and have Gyrocopter die. So it was very, very nice to kill the Phantom Assassin at least and force her buyback then. But now she has 2 lives again. So it's... they could, even if they really wanted to keep the PA alive, after the Aegis gets used, just hand her cheese afterwards.
Yep. And this is IG feeling, hopefully for us also, confident enough to go high ground, because they've been ahead for a long time. Reaching the 12k gold mark, reaching the 20k experience mark, compared to Orange, of course, being ahead.
They want to finish it.
They want to finish it, and they're going to try to go high ground. KYX were already sitting ready, won't have a buyback for this fight, because it is on cooldown. But it is still a very scary Gyrocopter, so IG, even though they are ahead, they will still play it fairly safe. And hope that Orange make a mistake. Do you think they're just gonna try to charge up high ground? BKB Zarn and guns blazing and all that stuff?
There's... BKB is down for Gyro, and you've got an Aegis. I don't see why not. I think they can high ground now.
BKB is up again, but it's only 4 seconds. And it's not going to be enough to stay alive for a very long time. And of course the crits from Joe. Can't really stop those with the BKB.
They want a favorable positioning is the main thing. But you, first of all, the creep wave will die quickly because you're facing a gyrocopter. And he's not going to use flat cannon. Like, post-nerf, there's no way you use the flat cannon to clear out these creep waves because you know you're going to need it immediately after. So, I mean, they just want the positioning, really. They want the right moment. And they can siege, so Orange are forced to stay here.
Yeah, waiting and wishing.
Yeah, I do like the extremely speculative homing missiles. Like, hey, if one ever lands, oh, it did land, but they
Look at that.
can't really do anything.
It gets a
Think about
living
homing
armor
missile.
straight away.
Yeah.
Just in case. IG.
Homing missile is... I mean, it's still actually not that bad of ability. People hate it more than I think is strictly warranted, but it's definitely Gyro's least consequential spell.
I guess they're getting tier 3 tower damage a little while every single time. Actually, no, this creep wave didn't get anything.
Extremely slowly.
Yeah. Like, if you're talking about a slow siege, right? No, this is probably one of the slowest.
Well, they've got 3.5, 4 more minutes with the Aegis, so... Again, IG, they just don't have any compelling reason to have to end this other than the fact that we're already behind schedule. So, I'm sure the admins are, like, looking at their watches and tapping their feet, but IG aren't.
Oh, aggressive force up. Lincoln Lasso, though, up on Ferrari. Can they take him down? KYXY in the meantime pops him out to Sal. Satanic gets him back up and gets him to do tons of damage up on Zoe. He still has the Aegis, of course, though. Joe will have the Aegis burned. It is a Treant that goes down. Here comes Joe back again. Do they have any way to shut him down? In comes the relocated. Calypso gets dropped as well. It is YWF that's already dead. Nice. Refresher being used. Another Eclipse drop. It is KYXY that will end up getting dropped here by Ferrari. Ferrari gets taken down and returned tier 4 towers. No! There goes the Ghost Scepter, keeping him up for a little while longer, making him get a double kill, getting Rubik there as well. And as for Prism himself to get himself safe, Crush misses, but it doesn't matter. Blink forward, Mushi still gets a kill. Triple kill for Joe still. As they get every hero, if they get Mushi here as well. And that's going to be a team wipe. Ultra kill for Joe. No buybacks on the board for the Radiant team. And this should be IG taking it. They don't have a creep wave though. They can't even go high ground yet. Well, in comes Ferrari, back again. Why not, right? Boots of travel for him.
For Gyrocopter, they're fine, I think. They at least take some Raxes here.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yes,
under attack.
if not more, because 50 seconds without the gyrocopter, no buyback.
I don't know about that chase on IO, by the way, by Slardar. Like, you know there's a PA, and he procced Bash on the first hit.
Yeah, I think, well, to be fair, like, what
they're gonna take as many melees as they can. That's smart, because, again, Gyro, 38 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, the range creep, the creeps here, look at the creep wave. I mean, they can just take the ranged wreckers anyway. Fortification goes out still, 30 seconds for gyrocopter to get back alive.
Middle tower has fallen.
And they will just continue going on this. I mean, no
Sorry
real
about
surprise.
IG, honestly, they let it drag a bit, but you saw in that last fight, like, how delicate the fights are when you have teams that deal as much damage as this. On the one hand, you've got the whole Refresher and PAs just stabbing people in the face constantly, and on the other hand, you have this extremely powerful Gyrocopter who can deal tremendous amounts of damage to your team. In the end, it's just, it comes down to the extra lives granted by the cheese, granted by the Aegis. The fact that IG got 4 Roshans in this game ended up being a huge deal because it let them constantly dictate the pace of the game, and in that last fight, that's what gave them the victory. I mean, without Aegis, you don't see them taking that fight, honestly.
Yeah, a bit of questionable buyback from KYXY. I mean, it came off cooldown, so he uses it, great. But I don't think it really changed that much, so he won't have it for the next fight, which might not actually be until 5 minutes from now, of course, for Roshan, as you pointed out, it's going to be the one that they want to have. But it's still quite awkward. I'm gonna say I'm gonna call it awkward.
Definitely an awkward buyback. It's for the main reason that it triggers the cooldown. He doesn't care about the gold. I mean, the gold is irrelevant to him now, but the cooldown means that IG basically gets 5 minutes. I mean, we just talked about how extra lives are extremely significant. Orange can't take a fight when Gyro has no buyback. Like, they're now stuck once again in completely passive mode. Because if Gyro dies, you just straight up lose now. Whereas before he bought back, you could just wait out the rest of that time. I don't know. I don't really see much justification for it since IG had already left.
Okay. We have got Joe picking up a second BKB. He's got both in his inventory. It's awesome.
I love this. But it's smart, honestly, the 10-second.
Yeah, but you can drop the other one. But I guess if you don't have anything to change it with, then you don't even, you know, better have it in your inventory. Why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the KOXY buyback is if IG can always just come back in. Like, what if the rest of your team is spotted out and they just relocate in or something? So it's a difficult decision if you're KYXY. You want to be up as much as possible to... Again, this Gyro it's like a great power comes great responsibility thing. He has 31,000 net worth. The rest of his team collectively has 30,000. So when you don't have Gyro, you don't have a team.
They're coming in from the side, by the way. Let's see if they can stop IG from going in. Already Ohio looking for last two. Gets by. We have BKB's turned on plenty. And Ohio gonna be safe. Gonna be relocated out by Chuan. In the meantime, Ferrari trying to keep himself safe. It drops the Eclipse. KOXY ends up going down. OD with a double kill. 2 Eclipses will do that to Orange. And YBF just safe again. Whoa, PA jumps himself forward, actually. Gets himself a double kill. Slardar ends up going down there as well. That's a GG. I mean, that was a bit of an anticlimactic fight. Bit of a last hope stretch for Orange.
Bit of an anticlimactic game, I feel, in
yeah,
some respects.
Well, that's kind of true.
It's honestly, you just end up in the position where IG is just far enough ahead that they don't have to do anything to take over the game, but not so far ahead that they can afford to just go balls to the wall and just try to end it quickly. And so you end up in this weird Dota netherworld. I mean, how unfun was this game for pretty much anybody on Orange except maybe KYXY, right? Like, follow the gyrocopter around and watch us. Oh yes, you flat cannon another creep wave.
Bravo!
So good.
Bravo. I mean, it's true what you said during the draft, though. I mean, this is the last big offline, like, LAN event for these teams. So you have to, like, give it your best and really try hard. And IG, if this isn't try hard, then I don't know what is. Being super safe, knowing that you're ahead, but still not going in, because that one chance that your opponent team is gonna be going to get a comeback, you know, you can't risk it. You just can't.
It's interesting, yeah, it is interesting that they played so conservatively. This is the group stage. I think it would be... I doubt that IG has any chance to not advance from this group, simply because there are teams that are going to find themselves somewhat outclassed. So the teams that played in from the... some of the teams that played in from the... the first group stage, they're just not up to the tier of a team like IG. But yeah, IG didn't want to lose. Maybe they want to make a statement. They want to go undefeated after some disappointing tournament performances lately. And I can't fault their overall decision-making because, like, Orange was really never able to claw themselves back into the game, try as mightily as they did.
Yeah, I mean, a win is a win nonetheless. Of course, for people wondering, this is just a best of one. We are in the group stages. This is, of course, the RedBull Esports Champions League. So RedBull ECL is how you can call it. And everybody faced each other once in the group stage. So we're gonna see 5 games today in total. This was game number 3. The next game that's up is gonna be Royal taking on Esports Muxi. So that's gonna be our next one. And after that one, we still have one left. Let's just take for a quick look at who we're gonna see last today. It's Orange versus LGD. So that should be a nice one to see there as well. Even though we might still have some games in between, but that would mean my roster is screwed up, which might be the case, actually. But yeah, we'll be back here with you with the 4th game of today. Stick around. You're, of course, watching on Beyond the Summit, and the casters for this broadcast today are Shiver, that's myself, and Vikermont, who is my co-caster for today. And that's actually all I wanted to say. So we're jumping ourselves out of this one. Be right back.